All right, welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Wednesday and happy opening day eve in the States.
Whoop, whoop.
Finally here. I don't know, it's just a lot of energy because baseball's tomorrow. I actually know why there's a lot of energy. Baseball's
there's a crap
tomorrow.
ton of energy.
We got a lot of things happening in the studio we'll talk about in a second, but we also just have a great show ahead of you. Ben McDonald, Big Ben's joining us at 2:45. He's up there in Toronto. We'll get ready to kick off this Orioles season as they open up against the Jays. And then a new member of the Ryan Ripken Show, friend of the program, is going to be a friend of the program, Daniel Alvarez-Montes, director of El Extra Base. So if you're looking for all coverage in the Latin players and Latin baseball, that's great. But guess what? He also covers all of baseball, and he is going to be down in Miami for what is the actual pitching matchup of the day tomorrow. Sandy Alcantara versus Paul Skeens to kick it off in Miami. He's going to join us later. And then somewhere in between, we're going to talk about the Terps taking on the Gators tomorrow night. We have another guest that you guys are going to want to hear from. And we talked to Stan Van Gundy this morning about what he thinks of the Terps taking on those Gators. And also, Zach, Stan's calling the game.
Yeah.
And there's one other thing that we have here.
What else do we? I feel like we're missing something is there something else we're doing today?
There's
I feel like did we
might
forget something?
There might be, I'm just kind of looking ahead and I can't see anything.
Shall we show the other camera?
Yeah, I don't see anything though.
Interesting.
That's fascinating. I wonder what's going on here. We'll stop traffic. If you guys are seeing it on social media, we are literally cooking in the studio.
Literally.
With the Iron Rooster and Kyle, and he's getting everything ready. Look at that. The grill's getting hot. And the theme today, because it is opening day tomorrow, you guys have probably seen Darren Ravel put out some of the concessions around MLB. Well, guess what? The specialty foods for the ballpark, why don't we try making them here? So Kyle's the one that said, hey, he's got it. So when he's ready to say a few words, we'll ask him what is on the menu today for us. And I cannot wait for that. Are you okay to talk right now?
All right, let's do it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you look good on camera.
This is fun. Yeah, something different.
Something different.
Usually my preference is to be in the kitchen, but the makeshift kitchen,
I think it will. So, and can we hear everything?
Yeah,
good?
I think everyone in the chat, can we hear Kyle?
Can we hear everybody?
I think from what I can hear,
I can hear. I'm just making sure because you're going to want to hear what we're cooking today. And also we're getting, what are we eating? Can I order delivery? Is this on the menu yet, Kyle? No. Not yet.
We're going to do some special stuff.
Okay, so first thing we're going to start with, and this is the Toronto Blue Jays special because the Orioles are playing in Toronto, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, it's cotton candy French fries.
Cotton candy French fries. I don't know who came up. I didn't come up with this, but it was cotton candy French fries, and this is a Toronto thing, apparently, new on the menu this time. So I think it'll be something that we take a look at. My lights might have
we might have turned off the light here.
Yeah, let me do.
Let there be light. Do you want me to get up there and check it out? Well, while we're getting that figured out here, well, the lights are out. Yes, but cotton candy French fries. Yeah, we're good. If not, we can just turn the light back on. Boom. Let there be light. Oh, did you literally?
Okay. Good.
Yeah, no, we're still cooking. No burners down.
Nope, we're good. We're back on.
We are ready to rock and roll. And you're right, though. Of all the food that's out there when you go to the ballpark, it's probably going to be a little bit pricey, maybe out of your price range. But we're kind of showing you that you can go to the store and grab it on a discount and have plentiful options. So we're starting with the cotton candy French fries, but I believe, Kyle, we have like 4 or 5 different things on the menu.
Yeah, we're actually going to travel all around the country. We've got a couple of things, Kansas City, Miami, Texas, Toronto, going international. Yeah, we'll be all over it. You know, not everybody's going to get a chance to go see Toronto Blue Jays game, but at least you can see kind of what people in Toronto might be eating tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. I want you guys to see some cool things. Things that we don't typically do at the restaurant, but things that this has become a big thing in over the last several years, where people are eating specialty items at ballparks.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because it really highlights local restaurants, local food, not just your normal. I know that it's a hot take, no hot dogs and hamburgers and peanuts, but I think this is going to be great. I'm excited.
I'm really fascinated, Zach, on what the hell this cotton candy French fries are going to taste like.
Yeah. Should we wait for Ben?
We can. I mean, if you want to, how long is the process going to start?
I can really have it ready in the next probably 5 minutes.
All right, so we can wait for Ben then as this thing's cooking up here. And while we're waiting for Ben, we're going to tease and preview one of the clips that we're going to talk about later, because it is a big week for Maryland in general here. If you guys have been watching the March Madness tournament, the men's and the women's both advanced to the Sweet 16. But, hey, look, no offense to the men's team, but the women's, they've been doing this for a while. Brenda Freese, legend in the game. They're going back to another Sweet 16. But for the men's team, for a school that I pride that Maryland is a basketball state, it's a basketball school. It's only the second time since 2002 that the Terps are going to the Sweet 16, and they're taking on a very deep, very talented Florida Gators team. But the best player on the court, Zach, might be on the Terps, and he's going to be in the NBA next year. That's Derek Queen. And Stan Van Gundy this morning, when we sat down with him, had all the compliments in the world, but there's one player comp that he threw out there that if you are hearing this name of this player involved, it's got to get you excited for what he can do now and what he can do in the future. So let's play that clip.
Tell you what, Derek Queen's fun to watch. I mean, with the skills he had. And the thing is he's not one of these guys that, we'll see it sometimes, these real thin, big guys, and they have these skills. He's got the bulk of a low post guy and can go down and overpower you with the skills of a younger guy. I mean, God, I hate to throw out this comparison because it's unfair to the kid, but he's got a lot of Jokic in him. He does, with the size and the handle. And if he continues to add the 3-point shot, wow. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Sky's the limit. And there's no doubt about that Derek Queen is one of the most talented players in the college game. But more importantly, he has a chance to then be a great pro. And Stan's been around for decades. In the interview, which we will release the full interview to everyone later, but our channel members, that's out right now. You can watch the full thing. But Zach, Stan talked about just how special of a talent that Derek can be. And the European style basketball players, back then, maybe it was being looked at by some as it's a different style. Can it play in the NBA? Well, that's the evolution of the game. And look at some of the greats out there. I mean, and Jokic, the Joker, is the pinnacle of guys. And Derek Queen really can do it all. And if he can get better at a couple parts of his game, Stan's right. The sky really is the limit for the young star.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest aspects of this is seeing the national media, the way they talk about Derek Queen. Because obviously in Maryland, everyone has grown to kind of love him. He's become the superstar for the Terps. But it's not just Maryland fans. It's the national media. And before we even went on, we started recording with Stan. We were talking and we brought up Derek Queen's name and his eyes lit up. He was like, I'm so excited to watch him. And he goes, and he even said later in the interview, he goes, selfishly, he goes, sorry for you guys, you're in Maryland. So obviously you want to see him stay. He's like, I cover the NBA. I call NBA games. He's like, I'm just excited to get to call more of his games at the pro level. This is a guy, you talk about Joker, Jokic. It is redefining the center position because it's no longer just, okay, go get the rebounds. Okay, go post up. It's Derek Queen, like a Jokic, is getting the ball and he's distributing. The offense is running through him. Stan talked a little bit about, they call plays for Derek Queen that you would call for a point guard. The game winner against Colorado State is a play. Guy gets it up top, comes down the side to his left hand, and goes and makes a play. He said, against Michigan, they called it up the exact same play for his right. He is a point guard in a center's body, and it's hard to guard.
Yeah, I think that you were telling me off air, Zach, that was an easy shot. You've made that all the days going to Loyola, and it was light work.
Well, Derek did, send me a message saying he watched my tape. that's where a big inspiration of his was. So, you know, my third grade tape is out there. People, you know, I've been told the Tavon Austin of, you know, Little League basketball. Some called me, but it's a highlight tape.
Do you call it Little League basketball? Or
No,
is it rec
no, it's rec, but I said
Right,
Little
but
League and I just keep rolling
that's,
with it.
you know, that could be a different question, and maybe that's for a poll in the future. But we got to figure out what our poll is going to be later on. It's got to be around food, I think. But I think rec ball for basketball, but baseball is the only one that you really
call
talk
Little
about.
League.
Little League. Even for soccer, rec soccer,
Yeah.
rec football.
Yeah.
But when you play baseball, you don't play rec baseball. It's Little League. Just a thought there. Just an absolute
You know
thought.
what? I'm glad people are starting to notice. I'm glad that I have someone in here to back me up. So the bum knee did hold me back, Malachi.
What could have been?
Yeah.
I
got to start paying people to comment stuff like that.
But I do have to tell you, though, when you, Rocco, Kevin of all people, and Brad start to come at me about athletic prowess, you want to go to a basketball court, buddy, we'll put anything on the line.
Watch how quickly I take a charge. The feet are always set. Feet are always set.
Oh, goodness. Oh, sugar. Well, hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live in studio, and we're getting ready to get cooking here on our first item, which is going to be cotton candy French fries, and then I hope then our guest that's joining us up there in Toronto, this might be his homework before he comes back to Baltimore. I mean, I know he's got to call a game and whatnot, but I think the people really need to know, not if the Orioles are going to win, but how good is this damn meal up there?
That's the question on everybody's mind.
That's the question. So with that question being said, if Ben's ready, Ben, you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, or you need a couple minutes. Oh, he's ready.
We're ready.
Those glasses look good. Let's bring on Ben McDonald. Ben,
Howdy.
how we doing?
I only got these glasses on so I can see up close. My vision far away is still very, very sharp, but up close, Father Time is starting to catch up with my eyes. Let me say that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, Ben, you're in Toronto right now, and we're going around the ballparks right now. So if you can change the camera real quick, the Iron Rooster here and Kyle, the specialty food up there is cotton candy French fries. Have you ever had that combo?
I have never heard of that before. Cotton candy French fries. No.
Apparently that's a thing.
I'm familiar with grease, and I'm familiar with French fries, but not cotton candy with them. But if it's a thing, I'll have to try it when I get back in town for sure.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I think you got to try it up there. It's in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's at the ballpark tomorrow.
Try it then.
Yeah. I need you to be my scout up there.
Well,
yeah, who cares about the baseball side?
I'll give you a scout report on that.
Good. That's what we need. That's what the people need here. But hey, Ben, appreciate you. By the way, I swear when you talk about stories, people love it. It spreads like wildfire. We just put out the story about you talking about calling pitches. You, my dad, and Hoyles.
Yeah.
That whole story. What's it with you? How do you deliver a good story? Or is it just that the meat of it is incredible?
You just tell the truth. You know, that's what I try to do. And that's that really happened. That's how it went down. And it really, as the story was told, you know, I came from LSU where the coach called every pitch I ever threw. And I never learned how to read bats. You know, I could do whatever the coach needed me to do. I never thought about it. And then several months later, I was in the big leagues calling my own game, and I had not a clue. And so thank gosh, Junior stepped in a year later and helped my maturing process. But he helped Chris Hoyles out a lot too, you know, and that's why it's so important to have veteran guys on your team. And I think the Orioles are blessed this year, especially from a pitching standpoint. You got a lot of starters now that you got Gibson that have a ton of experience. So it's going to be great for Bradish when he comes back. Of course, Tyler Wells when he comes back, Grayson Rodriguez, and a lot of the Dean Kramer. They're going to pick up things from these guys. It's really going to help them out a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned with Gibby being back. I know a lot of the guys are stoked about him, and you got to see him in 23. What was one thing that stood out to you about Kyle Gibson being around that ball club?
Just a leader. I mean, just a guy that led on the field. I mean, first of all, he went and answered the bell every time out. Every fifth day he took the ball, and that's what he does best at this point in time in his career. He chews up innings. And as we know, that is so valuable to a bullpen to give length. The average American League starter went 5 1/3 last year. And when you're putting that kind of pressure on your bullpen day in and day out, you need guys that can go out there and give you some length, that can work into the 6th, 7th inning from time to time, maybe work into the 8th from time to time, because it only helps the bullpen out in a time where we're not going to have Felix in back-to-back nights is what it appears. Other guys in that bullpen are going to have to close from time to time. And I think it's going to be matchup based. And I think you'll see Hyder do that. But it's important to give length. And I think that's what Eflin gives you. I think when Gibby comes back, he's going to give you that. I think Sagano can do that as well. Charlie Morton has been rocks with anybody. You go back to the last, 4 or 5 years, it's 30 or more starts. And so that's going to be, if that can happen and you can give some length, the bullpen will be that much fresher toward the end of the year.
I mean, that's what you need. I mean, look, the Birds bullpen going back to 22 and even then 23 when things were rolling with Felix, they were good, but you can't always expect that the bullpen's always going to hold up. And I hate even bringing that up, but like the Guardians were lights out last year, right? They're starting ERA, Ben, to your point, it wasn't anything spectacular, but their back end of their bullpen, it's if they had a lead and you could get into the 7th, 8th, and 9th, you knew that they were going to close that out. And then in the playoffs where even more pressure is, you're taking guys out left and right. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to giving it up. I don't care how good your bullpen is, and that's what happened with Cleveland. Zach, you got a follow-up?
Yeah, Ben. So I think going into this season, everyone, is talking about it is a veteran staff, especially the starting group. But, it's not like you look around the league and you have some of these teams that have very young staffs, whether it's potential or whatever it is. But for the Orioles, it's based around having experience. For a veteran staff, kind of what are your hopes for this and just overall thoughts on the staff? Because I know some fans, they want all, 24-year-old potential aces in the staff, but it's not reasonable. You have to have veterans. So what is your overall outlook on the staff?
For me, I think this pitching staff, especially the starters, need to be a little bit better than average. And when I say average, I mean 15th, it would be average in ERA for starters, right? I think we need to be a shade above that. The key this year for me is the offense, right? I mean, the offense is going to be the strength of the Orioles this year. You hope to get to 800 total runs at the end of the year. There were only 3 teams last year that got to 800 plus runs when the dust settled on 162. The Orioles fell just short of that and were 4th best in runs per game. So I think the goal is to get to 800 runs this year. The goal for the pitching staff is, one, obviously stay as healthy as you can. I mean, we know that the Orioles used 12 or 13, and that was the average last year across the league. The average team used 12 or 13 starters to get through 162 games last year. So I think it begins with health overall. I think the other expectations are, while you got some guys that are, on the back ends of their careers, they make up the difference sometimes by knowing and understanding how to read bats and being around the game so long. They can still go out and put up good numbers for you, very solid numbers, and I think this staff is quite capable of doing that. I mean, Zach Eflin, from a velocity standpoint, he doesn't show you opening day velo and opening day stuff and all that but he can give you opening day results. And I think that's what's important. He can go out there and stuff you for 6 or 7 innings. I'm happy with Dean Kramer. Look, Dean Kramer, the last 3 years, guys, it's a sub-4 ERA. It's 3.85 ERA over his last 3 years. That is way better than most guys that are out there right now, And so you combine that with Charlie Morton, who's been a horse, and he didn't like the way the season ended last year for him. He said, hey, I got something left in the tank. I think Charlie will be a little bit better than what he was last year for the Braves. And so I like the starting rotation where it is. I like the leadership, the veteran piece of it. I think Dino and, Sagano's kind of the wild card in this. But again, it's almost 1,900 career innings over in Japan, a guy that's been around a long time. He's had a ton of success over there, arguably one of the best starters to come out of Japan, with the numbers he's thrown up with the Cy Youngs over there and the MVPs and that, right? So I think this staff's got a real shot. I do think it's going to take a village, though. I think it's going to take more than 5. You'll be lucky if you get through the season using 9 starters. That's going to happen. We know that's going to happen. And you just look around the league. McClanahan went out the other day. He was supposed to open up for Tampa Bay. Boston's got some issues. Obviously, the Yankees have some issues with Hill and Cole being out right now. And so there's going to be injuries. That's just part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you talked about how they're not, and I think it's true for a lot of the guys on staff, is it's not going to be the, mind-boggling numbers or the opening day stuff, but they all find ways to get out. What does that veteran leadership and guys just knowing, hey, I might not be able to throw 99 past you, but my 94 is still going to get you out. What kind of mindset does it help for younger players, for like a Cade Povich, who he's going, hey, I don't have 97 in the arsenal. how can he learn from these veterans and kind of they help these younger guys, stuff you won't necessarily see in their stat book, but they're helping the younger guys.
I think the big thing for the younger guys is understanding that 2 ground balls and a pop-up is a very good inning. We don't have to walk 2. We don't have to strike out 2 everything. I don't have to throw 22 pitches in 1 inning, because obviously if the pitch count goes up, you're not working deep in the ball game. So if I'm Cade Povich, I'm sitting there watching Charlie Morton. I'm sitting there watching Eflin. I'm sitting there watching Dean Kramer and how they go about their business, and understanding if I'm going to give length, 2 ground balls and a pop-up is a damn good inning if I go 3 up and 3 down. If I could throw 10 pitches in an inning from time to time, that's going to allow me to work deeper in the ball game. So I think that's what you take out of it, and I was impressed like you guys were with Povich last year. I mean, you go back to the last 5 starts, month of September last year, I think it was a 2.6 ERA, and the walks way down. Everybody's talking about the kick change now, and he's got a new pitch, but he didn't have that pitch in September, and he still threw the ball really, really well. That's carried over to a really good spring. He earned the number 5 spot in the rotation, and that's where he's going to be. But I think he's going to understand, along with some of these other guys, including Grayson Rodriguez when he comes back, it's okay to throw 12 pitches in an inning and get back in that dugout and give your offense a chance to go score runs. And I hope that's what the young guys taking that, because look, you guys know this. You follow the game like I do. We're in a time now where, man, we're wide open. It's max effort. It's okay to throw 20 pitches in an inning and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't allow you to work deep in the ball games. And I think that's going to be key for the starters for the Orioles, is to give length. Now, I do think this. Now, here's the other piece of that. This staff is not going to strike out a lot of guys. And so the defense is going to be really important for the Orioles this year. They're going to have to catch the ball, make the routine play, and defense is going to be very important, because if you look at the rotation, Eflin's not a big strikeout guy anymore. I don't know if Sagano's going to strike out. Morton can still strike you out from time to time. Kramer a little bit less than 1 per inning. So you don't have a Corbin Burns, and there's not many of those guys around that's going to give you 1+ strikeouts per inning. You don't have that guy in your starting rotation. There'll be times where they do flash the strikeouts, and it'll be there from time to time. But for the most part, the defense piece of it for me is going to be good for the Orioles this year.
I think, Ben, when you listen to tomorrow's game, you might hear Ben's same answer during the broadcast, Ben, right there. You're ready to rock and roll. Those notes, man. You're ready to rock.
Look at all it, man. Look, this is the stuff they send me. I tell people all the time, I read more now in one day than I did in 5 semesters at LSU.
I'm just about to go there. I mean, you're a smart guy, Ben, but I didn't know how studious you were back then.
If they're going to send me all this stuff, I said, look, you at least got to put some pictures in here every now and then. It's way too many words. I need pictures in here, And so, no, it's been good. I try to do my homework. I'm studying up on the Blue Jays, and a big year for them. Obviously, with Bichette and Guerrero going to be free agents at the end of the year. They got the 5th highest payroll in baseball, and they're coming off a season where they weren't very good last year, finishing 5th in the AL East. And so this is going to be a pretty good team. They obviously added Santander and others to this mix, and I think their rotation is good. So it's going to be a tough first series for the Orioles. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think that, look, we're not going to learn really much from the first series of anything, right? But you always want to get off to a good start. And what I loved what you were mentioning with all those guys, Ben, it's fine to be whatever you are. And for those guys, knowing what you are, Zach Eflin, I look back at his first outing, I think, with the Orioles last year was against the Jays. He ended up going 6 innings, gave up 10 hits, but 3 earned runs, gave length. Why? He pitched to contact. They got out of situations. I think they ended up winning that game. That's all you can ask for. So I'm hoping that it's going to be good. And Ben, before I ask a couple more questions, by the way, we do have some cotton candy French fries here. Kyle, can you just explain how these were prepared?
You have to check this out for us up in Toronto. But
yeah, let us know, Ben.
So I know that in Toronto they're using a local French fry. So we're using a local French fry from Baltimore. White icing and blue cotton candy over crispy French fries seems to be the way that they're presenting this dish. It's interesting. Did you taste it yet?
I'm about to right now. Hey, Zach,
Rip, you got to get that. You got to tell me what that tastes like. I have a feeling you might have to hit the gym afterwards, because I have got a lot of calories in that, but that's okay. If it tastes good, it's okay.
Hey, Ben, I love Kyle, but sometimes with all these, I might have to be in the gym for 3 or 4 more hours. and it's my mom's birthday. Shout out my mom, by the way. It's her birthday today. Shout out Kelly. We're also going to be eating a little bit more filling tonight. So this is a good appetizer here, but we have 4 or 5 more. Hey, man, I got to be honest with you, man.
Good.
This is pretty good. I don't know what they got going.
I'll give it to you, Toronto. I was doubting every part of this, but this is actually very good.
I saw a guy said it tastes like cotton candy and French fries. It's like it's exactly
what you would think it would be. But it's good.
Yeah, because it's got talk about the sweet and salty. You literally have that. Ben, I'm serious, man. You don't have to get a whole thing, but get a bite.
I'm gonna have to try it. I'm sure Jeff Arnold, he likes to eat, so I'm sure he'll have a plate of them.
Hey, Jeff, you know what, Ben? I'm going to clip this. Hey, Jeff, I need a video tomorrow. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how busy you are. You are getting me a video, and we are getting a Jeff Arnold review.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to see to that. I am going to see to that.
Amen. Hey, Ben, I can't remember the last time the AL felt as wide open as it is in general. And we talked about it even in the AL East with Cole down, Heel down. They were replacing Soto with Bellinger. You have Jazz back for them. Goldie, who's older and trying to bounce back, they have questions. Tampa, obviously, you mentioned McClanahan was the spark. They were hoping their guy to get back, but they're kind of stuck in the middle. The Blue Jays have been a team that's underperformed the last few years. And then there's Boston, who had a really good offseason, but still has a couple issues. I mean, in your mind, do you see a favorite in the AL East or in general, or am I crazy to think that if you told me 8 teams could represent the AL right now, I would believe you. I think that's a good thing. And the only reason I'm saying that is like all the issues that the Orioles have had with injuries, they're still in a really good spot.
I totally agree. I think the AL East is as wide open as we've seen it in recent years. I love what Boston did. Anytime you go get Crochet and you get Chapman at the back end, you got Bregman coming in and some others to go along with what's a really good core group. The Red Sox concern me. There's no doubt they concern me for sure. The Yankees, look, I think going in before all the injuries happened, I think the Yankees were clearly the favorite, to win this. But anytime you lose your number one and you lose the rookie of the year, and Stanton is out as well from an offensive standpoint, and who knows when he's going to be back. I mean, the way they're talking, it's not days or weeks. It's literally months and months if it happens for him. I feel like it's as wide open as it's ever been, and McClanahan and Rasmussen were potentially coming back for the Rays. We knew the pitching was going to be the strong point for them, and now all of a sudden McClanahan is down. In Toronto, look, if Gausman bounces back and Barrios is Barrios from last year, Bassett's been a solid guy. They got some other pieces too. They got some new guys in the bullpen too. Romano is gone. And so, look, I think it's as wide open as it's ever been. It's going to be – I'm curious, Of course, the Orioles obviously start without their most talented starting pitcher in Grayson Rodriguez and their most talented position player in Gunnar Henderson. We hope it's going to be days. And from what we hear, Gunnar could return the final game in Baltimore against Boston. That's when he's eligible to come off. And so I know he's getting a ton of at-bats down there in the minor leagues like Mateo is right now as well, and trying to ramp up and get ready. So I think it's anybody's ball. I do think the key for all these teams is getting out of the gate quickly. Like, you don't want to get covered up in this division early. Like, you need a solid start getting out. And then, look, it's a pretty tough schedule for the Orioles. If you look, man, a lot of their first, you got the Royals, you got the Diamondbacks, you got the Blue Jays, you got the Red Sox. There's a lot. Kansas City was in the playoffs last year. That's the five series for the Orioles right out of the gate. It's not going to be an easy chore for sure. So I think getting out of the gate quickly is going to be key.
Yeah, and also, excuse me, the cotton candy was sitting up there for a second. Hey, now, and do I have cotton candy on my mouth?
No, you're good. Not yet.
But Ben, to your point, those are in Toronto, and guess who comes to Baltimore when they get home? It's the Red Sox. You got 2 division matchups, and it's a little less that you're playing your division rival from before when they changed over the configuration of facing every team in the majors. But those division games matter. They count, and they still count as much right now in March and the beginning of April as much as they're going to count in June, July, August, September. So I'm excited, man. I can't believe baseball's back. I can't believe that this was a good combo. Hey Ben, Kyle almost bought 10 pounds of gator. Or we thought about it. I mean, obviously you've had to have had some gator down where you are.
Yes, I have. And it's really good. I mean, we fry everything at home. Down in Louisiana, everything is fried. So we get fried all the time, and that's you can find it in just about any restaurant, any seafood restaurant down on the bayou, down in the Baton Rouge area. There's fried gator everywhere. Of course, the season right now is crawfish, and the crawfish season is peaking. They're coming into a peak right now, and so that's the big fuss at home. It always is this time of the year.
What's a Big Ben specialty? Whether you're making something or like that you love, like, hey, if you wanted a favorite dish,
man,
what are you getting down there?
My wife is as good a cook as anybody, and she makes the best crawfish étouffée. Like, that's my go-to favorite meal. It's pretty complicated. I can't do it, but you got to start with a roux, and there's a lot of butter and, of course, flour and all that. You start with a roux, but she makes a mean crawfish étouffée. Yeah, that's kind of when she says, hey, what do you want? And she's feeling pretty good. I go, hey, the étouffée would be wonderful tonight if you could swing that, And so that's probably my go-to meal is an étouffée. But, we do a lot of different things at home. We're big into big meat eaters, obviously. And so we eat a lot of deer meat and deer sausage and tenderloin and stuff like that. And we make hamburgers out of deer meat as well. And so we eat a lot of that kind of stuff. But that's probably that's 1A for me, is an étouffée.
Okay, étouffée.
Yeah. It is a gravy. It's of a gravy with obviously crawfish tails in it, peeled crawfish tails, and you serve it over rice and whatever you want with it. That's kind of what it is. It's very similar to a bisque. You might have heard of a crawfish bisque before.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar, but a little bit different. But it's just made with a dark, roux type gravy over rice, and that's how it's served.
Are we gonna? Can we make that?
Yeah, we can make that. That's an easy one. Ben's in town. Étouffée it is.
We're gonna try étouffée.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do that then, Ben. When you get back here, we're gonna attempt. It's not gonna be as good as Nikki's. We can't replicate where the home cooking's from. Down in Louisiana, it's hard to do that. But in the studio in Maryland, you're damn right. We're gonna do our best to get it going. Before I let you go, Ben, anything specifically? You got a bunch of things going on, but anything you want to talk about that's on your mind?
No, I mean, it's I'm anxious for the season, man. I'm excited about the season. I'm anxious to get going. There's a few moves left to be made. It feels like Soto is going to be in there for me since Henderson is out. I don't think Mateo is going to answer the bell here, just because the Blue Jays are going to run 4 right-handers out there,
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get to Boston, or Boston comes to town, you're going to see 2 left-handers. Newcomb will be their 5 guy, it looks like. And of course, you'll get Garrett Crochet. So I look for a move to be made there. I think you're going to see Mateo come to life, and he'll get activated against the Red Sox. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that Gunnar Henderson has enough at bats. He's recovering well, ready to go. He'll be in there in the final game against Boston. But all that, I mean, it's there's not a whole lot else to talk about. I've been following a lot of the news, and the Stephen A. Smith stuff is kind of old news, but that was kind of entertaining.
You're catching up with that now?
That was kind of entertaining there for a while. And here's the thing: I felt like Stephen A. Smith was spot on about what he said about Bronny James, and we love Bronny James. But I know he won a good game in the NBA the other day. But look, he's a G League player. That's where he needs to be, and maybe he'll continue to develop and be an NBA guy one day. I know you follow it as well, but it's unfortunate that Stephen A. Smith talks all that smack, and then when LeBron stepped in his face, he backed up like, speaking of crawfish, he backed up like a crawfish, and so that was kind of entertaining in itself. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of following a little bit, and now there's other stuff going on about LeBron this and LeBron that. So I try to keep up with some of the other stuff going on in the sports world as well.
I would love that. There could be a segment straight on just Ben. What is Ben catching up with? And do crawfish back up, Ben?
That's how they move. They don't move forward. They move backwards. That's what they do. And that's what Stephen A. Smith was doing the other day when LeBron got on. He was backing up. I can tell you, he was backing up.
Damn. Yeah, he might have been right there. Also, by the way, Nikki just sent me a photo of the crawfish étouffée. We're going to get this right before the show ends today. This looks phenomenal. I'm gonna have to actually have Nikki's. So can I get some of the home cooking?
Yeah, you can get it. Yeah, and she'll send you the recipe too, because she's really good. My wife grew up in Mamou, Louisiana, which is like Cajun country, and like her father never even spoke English. She spoke French until like he was in 6th grade or something like that, and so she grew up in a world and knows that world of how to cook. And those folks down there can flat out cook, I'm gonna tell you. And so that's where she comes from. So I'm really blessed that she's really good with the etouffees and the gumbos and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Nikki, if you're watching this right now, I need that. I'm putting my hand up. I need some of that Louisiana home cooking. I need to know the number one meal, and that looks amazing. Well, Ben, I appreciate you, man. You are the best. And if you don't know this, a lot of people love you. People are saying they need you on every game, but you're already doing like 100-some games this year, so they're going to get a whole lot of you already. And then when you get back in town, let's go get some food. I know there's
try to say it,
and we're going to have some crawfish etouffee.
That's good. That's close enough. Close enough for government work.
God damn, Ben. All right. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, and
take care.
All right, Ben. Appreciate you. Ben McDonald, everybody.
Ben.
I love that, man.
And
he is
literally one of the best baseball minds as well, and just probably the greatest storyteller.
And you know what? To be in the game or being in media in general, you got to be able to tell a story. You got to be engaging. Ben's everything. He's engaging. He's knowledgeable. And I love his definition on I learn things when he comes on. Crawfish dancing backwards, moving backwards. I didn't know that.
I love that. He was like, yeah, I'm catching up on things. And then I was like, what's he catching up? And then he said something that was like 2.5 weeks ago. He was like, Stephen A. Smith. And I was like, what was Stephen A. Smith just in the news for? And I was like, oh, he is talking.
You know what?
I love that.
Still guy does his homework.
Yeah.
Damn right he does. Ben
right.
McDonald's prepared. He's got 150 pages he reads before every game.
With or without pictures.
And then eating all the crawfish etouffee. Did I get that right?
You hit it.
Damn, I'm good. Damn. Baseball season's back right now. Cotton candy was a very good surprise. What are we cooking now?
So we're gonna move into Kansas City.
Ooh.
Kansas City, known for brisket, known for barbecue. So we're gonna get a couple of things going. So I had some brisket. We make at the restaurant. Which you like brisket? Are you a brisket guy?
Yeah.
Zach?
Yes.
You already know the answer over here.
Yeah. Brisket. The cool thing about brisket is that it's one of those meats that you can really just put in the oven for 3, 4, 5 hours, if not longer. There's a lot of muscle in the brisket, so it takes a long time for it to break down. But once it does, soft, pull apart. It's great. Brisket's one of my favorites. And Kansas City does barbecue. So we thought, you know what? Let's get some brisket. We got some brisket down. I got rolls toasted. And they call this the Z-Man, which I'd have to do a little bit more. I did the basic lookup on it, but it was brisket, barbecue sauce, fried onions, and provolone, which, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those things individually. And I think probably collectively, it's going to make for a great sandwich. So I'd say probably about 3-4 minutes.
Oh, goodness. Talk dirty to me right now. This is, you know what?
This is the best episode we've ever
cleared my schedule earlier, in my food schedule specifically. This is what it's all about. And I can't wait. How would you rate this then if we're going to close out the cotton candy French fries? We're rating it on scale.
So someone in the chat, hold up. Where was it? Josiah. This is a great point. It's in Canada, they live and die by poutine. So this is like a dessert poutine. So I understand where it's at first I was very like, did they just kind of panic on the marketing side? And they're like, find 3 things in the ballpark that we can put together. They're like, just throw it together. But the okay, so the dessert poutine, I understand it. Definitely tastes.
You'd be wrong though, Zach. It may have just been a throw together kind of.
It seems like it.
I'll be honest. I was shocked. I was shocked that I actually liked it more than I thought. Like I want to take another bite every time, another one, and another one.
You've learned your lesson from when we've done this before. You got to go slow. We're gonna have a lot of food today.
Yeah. I'm gonna push this to the side now. Last time we tried to work on a little breakfast of champions there, Zach. Got a little out of control, but are we, Hayden, putting cotton candy on the brisket?
Might have to.
Might get frisky in here. You know who would?
We should just at the end everything together.
I'd make Kevin do that if he was in here right now. I would.
Easy.
Easily. That'd be. He wants food challenges. Kevin, I know you're back there. No, you're not about the Kevin Ostreicher. Welcome to the show, Kev. You're not about the cotton candy on a brisket.
I'd do anything except eat peanuts, obviously.
Yeah, except eat peanuts. Kyle, the one thing you didn't know is Kevin is dangerously allergic to peanuts. So much so that he's willing to risk his life just for a story because he ate.
It wasn't for the story at the time, but I mean, it makes a story now.
Nutella.
We do have Nutella, so you're out on that one.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Dessert. We'll get to Nutella.
Well, he's not gonna get into it now. We'll have this place cleared through it.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be phenomenal. But Kev, you missed. Ben was just with us. Ben McDonald, for those that are just joining us, talked a lot about the Orioles and Toronto Blue Jays getting caught up, and maybe this is a good time then, where since we're going to Kansas City for our next sandwich, and this is opening day, and we're going around the AL. I think it's a good time that we actually look at the American League as a whole. Maybe we check in on some of these odds, and to do that for those odds, got to take a quick trip up to Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia.
Good job, Kevin.
Beautiful, Kevin. And our friends up at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia just were there for March Madness. They were phenomenal. The sports book, phenomenal. Tequila shots, phenomenal.
Right, Kevin?
As a group. Right, Kevin? Okay. Says it all right there. That was the same reaction we got when we were up there. Nothing's changed, whatever. But guys, there's a special offer though. I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't say. There's a new player bonus going on. Bet 10, get 100 in bonus bets on ESPN Bet right now. Plus, you get 30 days on them on ESPN Plus. Didn't know that. How about that? When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. And that's available until April 30th. So thank you to our friends at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races and to ESPN Bet. Now, the Royals, because it's a wide open division, right? Or wide open league overall. And when we're looking at this to make the playoffs, when we're going through the list of teams, the Orioles have a minus 190 chance to make the playoffs right now, right? Other teams as we go down, the Guardians plus 115, Tigers plus 120, Astros minus 150, but the Kansas City Royals are at plus 115 to make the playoffs. So that's kind of telling you that good chance that they're going to make it. So it's just slightly above plus money.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating, though. The Orioles minus 190. So Vegas still thinks that Baltimore is a team that can make some noise. And if you want to get really frisky, the Chicago White Sox are plus 3,000 odds. That's $1.
Hammer it.
We just got to sneak in.
They just got to sneak in. Texas minus 125 is another one to monitor. And I was trying to look at the division as a whole because that whole AL Central is kind of strange to me, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a very good division, but is there a powerhouse great team?
No.
Right? Each team has their flaws. And I think that's the part of it. The Royals, though, the Pasquats, Vinny Pasquantino being healthy again. Bobby Witt Jr. is an MVP candidate, as we know, one of the best players in the world. They got better and better, and it feels like this is the year people expect them to win the division, but
they're not.
Cleveland's still very good. Minnesota, and how about that team up in Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be straight with you. The Royals are not winning the Central, and it's for one simple reason. Everyone thinks that they're going to take the next step, and the Central's too weird for it to go as planned. So it's clearly we can never have. We have some incredible cooking going over here, and it is so.
Are you ready?
This smell is just. I think.
Do we need a photo of that coming up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch the camera. Yeah, get the photo.
Yeah.
All right, so brisket, barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, that's hot.
A good one.
That's hot. Literally, figuratively, and metaphorically.
Yeah. So brisket. What do we say? Provolone, barbecue sauce, fried onions, see what the next. We'll get some more barbecue over the top.
This is the greatest episode of all time.
And just to think, we might be doing this every week.
Unbelievable.
How about that, Kyle? We good to do that every week?
Well, I think we should switch up the food. We'll go around.
Yeah.
No, cotton
Wait a
candy
minute.
fries every week.
I mean,
we
we
got-
could. If there's 30 parks, I think we can probably hit the 30 parks.
This is phenomenal. And I'm sorry, buddy.
All right, boys.
I'm excited, and this is what we're doing, and it's celebrating opening day, and what no one can celebrate opening day better than the Iron Rooster, and to come in and make the food. And luckily for us, we get this all the time when we go to eat there. Now, granted, we're not going to Kansas City. Holy hell!
Kansas City.
Timeout.
Look at that.
I got to tell you what, if the Royals don't win the division, there's a chance they might win best food for this. This is phenomenal. Okay.
Tyler.
Man, I'm jealous.
Yep. Kevin, there's no peanuts in this puppy.
One bite, one. What's the?
Is it one bite or man bite?
It's
Yeah.
hot, so just be aware.
All right. So to close out the thoughts on the division, the Central, you think it's so wacky, Zach?
It's just it makes too much sense for the Royals to win it. Like, I think they're the most talented team, which is why I think it makes too much sense for them to win it. I don't want to say the Tigers because I've been saying all offseason I need to see more from them, but I do love the momentum they're riding. I think we might just be overthinking this, and it is just the Guardians. Like, the Guardians are just that simple. They're always going to be there. They're just scrappy. They're going to find ways to win. They're never going to overpower you. They're never going to be flashy. They're never going to sit there and win 100 games and make you go. The Guardians are the team to beat. But damn, when it comes down and you look back at 162 games, more times than not, it feels like the Guardians have done their fair share of damage and have put themselves in position to win that division.
And ironically, though, we're talking about the Guardians, talking about the Tigers, Royals. You know who the favorite to win the division is right now?
Who?
The Minnesota Twins.
I was going to say, I literally
Minnesota
I was
is
literally-
favored to win at plus 200. Then it's the Tigers at plus 260, Guardians at plus 280, the Royals at plus 300, and then the White Sox
Royals are plus 300.
yeah, at least on
Okay, I
ESPN Bet.
take everything back. I'm hammering the Royals to win that damn division.
Well, and how about this? And then the team that no one's given a chance, the White Sox are right there at plus 10,000.
They just got to sneak in.
10,000.
They just have to sneakily steal like 43 games.
And I'm not making this up. I'm going to share the screen with this, and then we're going to dive into the actual our food because I got to try the Z-Man.
This is
I'm salivating right now. This is
I gotta get the mic.
Kyle. This might be some of your best work, and you've
It
done a lot
looks
of
really
great work.
good. I gotta say, that's a good.
It's
looking-
a
They even
really-
gave the White Sox their own line. That was unnecessary.
It's by themselves,
They are begging people to take it. They're like, yes, you can take it for these odds.
and you know what? You know why those odds are so high? Because Gavin Sheets isn't there. Yeah.
Mhm. It was only 8,000 before he left.
Yeah, Gavin Sheets left, Kevin. That's what happens.
Tragic.
That's what happens. And by the way, shout out Gavin Sheets again. The Padres made the roster. They're opening up. Excited for him. He's a Baltimore guy. One of my best friends growing up. And yes, go Hounds, baby, Zach. Go Hounds, Zach. And
Yeah, I'll get that off the show.
okay. Why don't we then try this puppy? I am ready to rock. Unshare. All right, Z-Man. Oh, and you got the double screen.
Yeah,
going
because
here.
we both have to get our reaction.
Okay. So is this one bite?
One bite, yes. All right, we ready?
3, 2. Have a day, have a night.
Where are we at?
Oh my God.
Heaven.
Yeah. When in Kansas City, they say.
When in the Ryan Ripken Show studio.
This is unbelievable. I also got to get way better at eating on TV. I took way
Same.
too big of a bite.
Oh, same.
I did not do the take a small bite so you can give your reaction. And I was like, I looked at this. looked at this and was like, I am taking that down in one bite.
I feel like go big or go home.
You have to at this point.
I think, yeah.
You know what go good with that?
What?
Some cotton candy fries.
Oh, yeah.
On the side, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with barbecue sauce.
Kyle, that is lights out.
Yeah.
Kevin, you feel the same way, right?
Yeah, Kevin, this
I-
sandwich is bigger than you.
I wish I could eat it. I wish I was there.
Kevin, I'm not kidding you, dude. This might be bigger than your face.
I guess I'll have to test it out or something. I don't know.
Well, luckily for you, I think Kyle's going to come back.
Yeah, a few times, you know.
Yeah,
In fact,
Oh.
of all the people I wanted to see, Kevin was
I know.
Well-
I haven't even met Kyle yet. We have to meet.
disappointed. To say the
Wow.
least.
You know what?
Wow,
He's not
Kevin.
sad.
You're Ryan. You're the one that scheduled this on the one day I can't come into the studio every week.
That a winner. Yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
I'm just saying.
This is the greatest idea we've ever had. I love this damn show. Oh my god.
And I love opening day baseball. And again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like or subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2:30 to 4:30. And we're going around talking about baseball. And it's a big baseball season. We also have another interview lined up later on today. Daniel Alvarez-Montes, the director of El Extra Base. He is joining us soon. And also, since I don't think we're going down, there's no Miami-themed food for this one, right?
No, that's what's next.
Oh, that is what's next.
Pull apart sliders. So
Whoa!
Miami Marlins, grilled steak, peppers, onions, a little bit of garlic, cheese, and then a chipotle aioli, or like a chipotle mayo, over a slider bun. So yes, we're going to Miami here, which is my hometown. So I can speak to this.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what I went through in a past life to get this, to like deserve this, but this is incredible.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think Zach and I are going to cry for different reasons. Zach is just overjoyed, and I am
It's just everything.
devastated I'm not there.
Kevin, the smell in this place is unreal right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
yeah.
like I walked in the door before anything had even been cooked, but just the food being in here, and now it's just through the roof.
And so, since it's talking about the Marlins and Miami at 4 p.m., Daniel Alvarez-Montes, who, yes, director of El Extra Base, but he covers when the Marlins are in town. And guess what? The best matchup of opening day is Paul Skeens versus Sandy Alcantara. And I think everyone's extremely excited to see him pitch, Zach, because Sandy was throwing 100-mile-an-hour fuzzballs, 98-mile-an-hour sink pieces. And then there's Paul Skeens, who apparently developed a cutter, which is, why would he do that to hitters? It's not a fun experience. He's already that good. But you're seeing the best in the game right now. I think Paul Skeens has earned that title. And you have Sandy, who is ready to prove that he is back to being one of those top-end pitchers in the game of baseball. So really excited
can we
about
just
that.
like appreciate how absurd that statement is when we refer to, like, we just casually are like, Paul Skeens, who has, earned the right to be the best pitcher in baseball. He hasn't even been up for a whole season, for a whole year, for a full 365. And no one's going to argue with you if you go, oh, Paul Skeens is the best pitcher in baseball. You go, yeah, checks out. Yeah, he is. It's not even an argument sake right now. And it's just genuinely mind blowing how, like you said, comes up in his first season, is just the best pitcher in baseball. And then, like you said, he's like, what if I just add a cutter just to mess with people a little more, just to
say that I
just
can.
to make you think like, oh, no way he's going to throw the cutter. So that's what we need. Also, I had to get to that. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were getting food ready, but baseball is back. Appreciate you. Let's go, O's. PWA.
Oh, hey now.
YouTube
Hey
member.
now.
We got standing up, and then Pocket Watch. Happy opening days Eve. Appreciate you all, and appreciate everyone for tuning in. This is fun.
This is what we love about it. Hey, it's officially less than 24 hours till a lot of the games are going to be having first pitch.
I'll still be here digesting.
And I will, honestly, but I will say We'll save that for later. We do have a guest tomorrow at 3 p.m. involving the Terps. So right before you guys turn over to watch Masson, we'll be live for the game tomorrow.
Big game.
But we also got to get ready for that. The Terps taking on the Gators, which should be a fantastic one. But Kev, to continue on with this, as I want to just really get home the point about the matchup with Paul Skeens. And Paul Skeens last year, right? 1.96 ERA in 23 games started, 133 innings pitched, 170 punchies. That's 170 strikeouts. Punchies or strikeouts. But I think people forget.
Write that down, Kevin.
Write that down. Oh, excuse me. I'm excited. But I think people forget how good Sandy Alcantara was before he went down. And I mean when he was at the peak. And you're talking about his 2022 Cy Young Award season where he had an 8 WAR. And if you don't know what that means, how about I tell you these stats? 14-9 with a 2.28 ERA, 228 pitches or innings pitched. And goodness gracious, he held out 174 hits. Now, the big thing for him at that time, he wasn't a huge strikeout guy, 207 in 228 innings, so less than 1 an inning. But he was absolutely lights out and had 50 walks during that period. And now you're seeing a guy that's throwing near 100, has movement to his fastball. The Marlins, that's that one piece, Kevin. And we had Freddie Gonzalez on when we were talking about who is that one trade piece that everyone's going to be looking towards because of all the pitching injuries. And I know a lot of Orioles fans specifically really wanted to see the Orioles go after Sandy last year. But if you're the Marlins, you want to see your best trade chip continue to raise his value because somebody's going to have to pay a hefty price to get him.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there's not going to be a better player on the market, honestly, for the entire course of the trade season than Sandy Alcantara. And you talk about a guy that outside of this season still has, well, technically 2 more years. He has the club option in 2027. It's not that much money considering what some of these pitchers are getting paid. I mean, 2025 at 17.3, 2026, same thing. 2027, that club option is 21 million. When you're seeing pitchers getting, all this money per season, I think that it's not only you're getting a quality pitcher, you're getting someone who is with team control on a cheaper contract considering what these aces are signing for. And so whoever gets them, whether that's a team in the AL, which, we talked about and we continue to talk about is so wide open, maybe that's the difference. Maybe trading for a Sandy Alcantara is the difference between a team that you're like, oh, they could do it. They could go. They could win the pennant. And, oh, wow, these guys are the favorites because they have added that frontline guy to their rotation. So, I mean, it's going to be front and center. Paul Skeens, Sandy Alcantara, that to me, I know Orioles and us being Baltimore, but sitting down and watching that, whether I have to do it live or just on a replay, that's going to be front and center when it comes to baseball matchups when it comes to opening day.
And I am ecstatic and excited about that, just like I'm excited about these sliders, Kev. That is, look, I know people love the Orioles. We love baseball. That's a matchup that you hope to see every night, but the reality is you're not going to get this every night, and you're getting it opening day down in Miami, and I can't wait for Daniel to join us, Kev, so he can talk about it, and for the rest of the season to see that. And the one thing I want to mention on before we try the slider, Connor Norby's out with an oblique injury, and that was a bummer. That was a guy I wanted to see start the season off healthy. Obviously, it's a lot of people, fans of the Orioles, were bummed. He was traded. It's a part of the business. I was really hoping for him to get off to a good start. Obviously still can, but I hate that he's got to deal with that. So
yeah, and real fast, just kind of last thing, Kevin, like you said, the only person that I could see in the quote unquote trade deadline rumor mill that would be a bigger name than Sandy would be if shit hits the fan in Toronto and they're like, okay, Vladdy's up. Yeah, and that's the only, and that's not someone the Orioles especially would be in on, but if you, because of the control, Vladdy would be a free agent at the end of this year because of everything, he is that frontline ace and everything. Yeah. Sandy, without a doubt, he's going to be the guy where if you don't think 29 other teams are going to be tuned in with multiple scouts every single time Sandy takes the mound, you're wrong, because it is that year where if you are even semi in contention, like you said, Kevin, that's a move that takes you from they got a solid squad, they got a good team, though. Oh shit, okay, so they're gonna win game 1 of any series, and that puts you in the driver's seat.
That's a holy shirts and pants moment. That's that type of energy. But you know what's that type of energy now? Then this slider. So Kyle, again, we're rocking one more time for what we have.
Yeah, so Miami Marlins pull-apart sliders. They do grilled steak, peppers, onions, cheese, a chipotle aioli, and like a Hawaiian slider bun. I feel like that's a good one.
Hey, get over here. Yeah, beautiful.
Beauty.
Very. I mean, look, it might be going for. I don't know what the price it's going for there. It's probably quite high, but in here, it goes for friendship. All right. Ready? Man bite. Have a day, have a night. Cheers.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's the best one.
That might be the winner.
Yeah, that is. Oh, the flavor that just hit my system is unbelievable.
Is that on the menu? Is that on the Iron Rooster menu?
That's not, but I tell you, we have an opening day menu coming out on Monday
Oh my goodness.
for Orioles opening day in Baltimore. We'll be doing a Grand Slam breakfast, which is a combo. You can get just about anything. We're doing breakfast sliders, so something very similar to that. We're doing birria waffle fries. If you've had birria is a hot, Mexican dish that we're going to do birria waffle fries. And we got a couple of drink specials that we're doing with Deep Eddy. Our friends over at Deep Eddy are going to be working into their pineapple for Deep Eddy pineapple this spring and summer. We're excited to work with them. So we have a Chesapeake Bay Breeze coming out, and then an orange creamsicle that we'll be using Deep Eddy orange on. So we're excited for Monday for opening day. So yeah, sliders not exactly like that, but I'd like to even think ours might be a little bit better. Breakfast sliders.
So breakfast slider is going to be like egg, bacon,
Scrambled egg, ground beef, peppers, onions. We do a garlic aioli, bacon.
You got to put bacon on everything.
And with the side of waffle fries, we did this in-house a couple of days ago, just testing it out. I mean, people were just going crazy for it. So sliders coming to a Iron Rooster near you starting Monday. And yeah, we're excited for opening day. Always a fun time in Baltimore.
You said don't. It's always a fun time in Baltimore, and you guys got things cooking. Literally, I honestly think that's half of my meals that I have on the week. And this, you said to pace myself. I'm going to eat. I think I'm going to eat this whole thing.
Yeah, that's also what's happening over here.
Next up, I forgot a little bit. We're just going to stick in the brisket category because now we're moving to Texas. The Rangers
Going to Texas.
do a Texas Ruben, which I thought was pretty cool. It's it's brisket with a jalapeno kraut and a little bit of Russian dressing over the top of it. And I think that as good as the sliders were, I feel like you may just end up seeing the Ruben as something that you really want to try. So that's coming up in about 5 minutes.
This is unbelievable. So before we close out and we go to the AL West, because that's what we're doing here, let's close out this Miami slider. I love all three. That is number one from today. I feel that way. Exactly. Those exact numbers too.
Yep.
British Raven. I'm going with, I think it's in the nines. I got that.
That
like
was
a
incredible.
9-3,
Wow.
9-4.
That's high praise.
The
flavor that hit my taste buds the second that I just
the pepper to meat to sauce ratio with the
perfect.
slider, chef's kiss. Hey, kisses to the chef, Kyle.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. But I'm actually looking forward to this Ruben because You can get a Ruben anywhere, but this is a Ruben I think that is going to be just different enough that people are going to like it. And this is from the Houston Astros, so something a little bit different. But yeah, that's coming up in just a minute.
So as we move to the AL West now, look, that division has still belonged to one team for the last decade. It's been the Houston Astros. Now, the Rangers did win the World Series 2 years ago. And when they did win, they almost missed the playoffs. Got healthy at the right time. We know what happened. They came to Baltimore. They first went to Tampa, rocked Tampa, came to Baltimore, rocked Baltimore and swept, and then went on to have a thrilling 7-game series with the Houston Astros, and then went on to win the World Series, defeating the Diamondbacks. So when we're looking at this, the Astros traded away their arguably most talented all-around player in Kyle Tucker. Why? He's going to be up for a contract. They're going to have to make a decision. Their best hitter, arguably, is still on the team in Yordan Alvarez. And you have Altuve. You have a very good pitching staff. And we just saw the news. Probably the coolest thing from the Astros was Cam Smith making the roster. That video, that will make you cry because it's a dream that you're seeing is coming true. But they feel a little bit more vulnerable, Kev, this year. Like when you're looking at it this way, Texas should bounce back. They got questions. They got apparently the reports, Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter made the rotation, but are unproven. Jacob deGrom is back. If he's healthy, you know what he is. They added some pieces offensively to an already talented offense led by Corey Seager, right? So I would say it's those two teams, but then I'll tell you what, the Sac A's are an exciting team. The Mariners are an unpredictable team.
The Mariners can pitch. End statement.
So I guess that is predictable. They can pitch.
It's the other side of the ball that's a little, I don't even know if unpredictable is the word. It's just, please do something. Anything.
It's like that.
Literally, it's like the stick. It's like 3 runs and we win the game. Any game. Like 3 runs. We just need that. Just 3. You don't even need to average like 5. Give us 3 runs. We'll win 95.
And right now, since we're just talking a little bit prediction action here and going to the AL West winner, Astros are favored at plus 140 in the odds, Rangers plus 200, Mariners plus 225, Athletics to win the division. Kevin, you love value, plus 3,000, the same as the Angels. It's kind of surprised with that.
Disrespectful.
It's so surprised, but Kev, if you had to pick one right now, if you had to go through your crystal ball using one of your crystal fishes, who's your favorite out there in the AL West?
I still think I would go with Houston. They suffered some tough losses, and I know that obviously, Texas is going to be a team. It's going to come down to the wire. Like I could see this going down to like the final 2 weeks of the season. I would put a little bit more of a gap though between Texas and Seattle. I think that I'm kind of pushing Houston and Texas into their own category. Seattle, I think, is in their own category. Then you have the A's like a lot further down, but I'm not putting them in the same category as the Angels. I mean, I feel like that's the team there that I'm just not even worried about personally. But I think that for Houston, you mentioned with Yordan Alvarez, and they still have talented pieces there. But I just, if Texas reaches their potential, if Leiter and Rocker, they shed the inexperience and say, hey, we're actually really good, and here you go. And now you have 2, whether it's frontline or just mid-tier rotation guys. I think that it will be Texas and not close. But I'm just putting in the buffer of it's probably not all going to work out. There's going to be something that happens that goes wrong. Obviously, it's that way for every team. Houston's proven it, but with, no Kyle Tucker and them trying to figure some stuff out, I think it's going to cut like maybe Houston wins it by a game and a half, and that's how close I'm getting with that.
And Houston has been that team. They just have been left and right. They've just found a way to continue to dominate the AL West crown. Before we dive more into the baseball conversation, since we are going around the ballparks of ballpark foods with opening day tomorrow here. So, again, new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Kyle and the Iron Rooster. This is the Texas Ruben.
Said Texas brisket,
Mm-hmm.
A Russian dressing, a provolone cheese, and then a jalapeno garlic slaw,
Ooh.
or like a kraut that goes right over the top of it. Going out on a limb, I'm going to say this one might just take the cake.
You think this is going to be the top tier one right here?
I think the flavors are going to explode here in just a second.
You hear that, Kevin? Flavors explode.
I hear it, and I'm still jealous. Just by the way.
So I just got the brisket down, and then I made this jalapeno mustard kraut. Give it a little bit of crunch. You a mustard fan, Zach?
Oh yeah, might have to be.
I'm a more of a plain guy, Kyle,
Oh
as you might
gosh,
know.
okay.
But I mean,
I've heard.
I do love, but I love flavor, and this isn't a topping. That's a topping, not a condiment.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut's a condiment.
Kraut's a condiment.
No,
right?
no, wait, no.
No,
It's a topping.
topping. It's a topping.
Yeah, my bad.
Is that what we're calling it? Okay. Well, I'll go with whatever you guys say. But
He's Switzerland over here. Kyle's going to be right in the middle.
I want people to be happy. We'll
Except
keep
for
it going.
Kevin not being here. He's not happy at Kevin. But other than that,
that was disappointing.
I know.
I mean, you're
the
supposed
the one day I can't come in.
Kevin, we're going to have tastings. There's going to be so many times that Kevin might be calling uncle. He might be tapping out.
Never once.
This is a beautiful day.
The best day.
This is actually, a great day to start this off, Kyle, because of the fact it is opening day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Baseball is back.
Like I said, over the last several years, people have really taken on food at the ballpark to a whole nother level. And so it's fun. It's neat. It's just not the typical, popcorn and peanuts. And, that definitely has its place. I'm a traditionalist at heart for sure. But, you get to try the local fare. I think people are excited by food that they can see as they go out into the cities that they're in. And these are those types of meals. So, no, it's pretty cool.
The fact that you just put this together.
Just threw this together casually.
Yeah. Look at that. That is chef's kiss. Oh. All right. Man bite. Got to come up with a good slogan. It's not going to be, I don't know if it's not going to be man bite. It's not one bite. Everyone knows the rules. What do we call it?
Oh no, I'm just ready to dig in.
All right. Let's do it. You ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. Have a day. Have a night. Have a bite. Ooh. Ooh.
Kyle, you were right.
Mustard works, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah. I feel like the mustard works with that brisket.
Yeah, this is. Yes.
Jalapeno slaw. Kraut.
Oh.
Texas Ruben, I wasn't aware of your game,
Mm-hmm.
but I am now.
Uh,
Just to be safe for the kids, I'll take one more.
yeah. God. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that the one?
You nailed it when you said the flavors were just going to be.
Yeah.
It
should pop.
It all goes together so perfectly. Gosh.
It was the Texas Ruben is when you have a different bite, or the second that goes by, it feels like it just unlocks a different flavor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
First thing,
The more you eat it,
meat-
like it just keeps changing into better and better.
Yeah. Check that out. You're down in Houston. The Astros, they Texas barbecue, Texas food, they know what they're doing. So I feel like that's definitely a good one. I got dessert next.
oh gosh. So is this the final one?
We're going to Philly for dessert.
Philly.
Oh, let's
They
go.
have a dessert quesadilla, Nutella, marshmallows, graham crackers. I'm interested to see this one. I've never done anything like this before, so this one should be an interesting kind of cook up and see how it works out. So Be back in 2.
Cannot wait. 2 minutes, huh?
4 minutes.
4 minutes, huh?
Let me figure this out.
Phenomenal. This is the food that will kill Kevin. And for those that don't know about Kevin's food allergy, Kevin, very deathly allergic to peanuts. Instead of going, he didn't have an EpiPen, didn't have Benadryl, which is like how Pepto-Bismol was to me, or tequila. Kevin didn't have that. And so instead of going to seek help in the airport, Kevin
Waited 3 hours for the bus.
And he's like, yep, I could have died. But it sounds like it could have been prevented.
That was such the most casual like conversation he brought up. He was like, yeah, there was this crazy time. And I was like, oh, like something must have gone wrong where like the help.
He's in
like,
the
didn't come.
wilderness.
Yeah, like.
And he ate a
like,
pine nut.
He's like, I didn't want to go back in, so I just waited.
Yeah, you know, if
You just hungry? Appetizer?
Oh, he didn't eat a pine. It was, what did you eat? An energy bar.
it was a protein bar.
Oh, okay. It seems like an odd thing to eat while you're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, Kevin, it's really weird that you just should be in the wilderness.
Yeah. Is the airport considered wilderness?
The airport is the new wilderness, depending on how you look at it.
It does feel like the wilderness at times.
You know, people.
It depends on what airport you're going to. I feel like.
Oh, that could be one day of most chaotic airports. That
We
could be
visit
on the
them all.
list. Or we're visiting them all. I was going to say we rank ours that we have experienced.
We
That'd
just take a jet, take one step in each airport, and then go to the next one to say we've been.
Yeah.
there.
We'll add
Quick
that to the
vibes.
company plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kevin,
that-
you're still providing that, right? The company plane.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're-
I got you.
I'm
I got
actually the
you.
pilot.
I'm actually building it.
well,
So step on at your own risk.
that
And I'm flying it.
wouldn't we be too lucky if Kevin was the architect and the pilot? But I digress for now. But since we are going to Philly, the National League now is we get it. The Dodgers are really damn good. They're a very good baseball team. And quite frankly, even when they're not fully healthy, like no Mookie Betts, no problem the first 2 games. When you have a team that's so talented, a player can be, down, a player can be out, or they could be struggling, and you can find a way to win. So the Dodgers right now, they should be the favorite. And we're looking at the pennant winner. Dodgers are plus 160 to win the pennant. But not so fast here. The next 3 best odds in the NL are actually coming from the NL East. And that is the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves. The Braves and Mets actually at plus 550, which a lot of people were saying, well, wait a minute, the Braves didn't make a lot of moves this offseason.
I didn't need to.
They got Ronald Acuna Jr. back. That's making a move. You got one of the best players in the world. You got Spencer Strider, one of the best pitchers in the world, back. But the Phillies at plus 700 here, guys. I still like Philly a lot. I think Philly is a dark horse team. I even bad saying dark horse, but looking at this, I think that they should be right there behind the Dodgers.
It is a dark horse team because everyone just talks about the Dodgers. I consider any team that's not the Dodgers to be a dark horse team because of what you said. I mean, they can literally, you can lose Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman from that team, and you're still looking at probably the most talented roster in baseball. It's just, that's how deep they are. So I like Philly. I think Philly is, Philly's got a bunch of dudes. Like, talk about guys that just go out there and it feels like they just perform in the big moment. We're talking Schwarber, we're talking Harper, Trey Turner. They've got an incredible foundation. It's all about just making it work. It's just not eating themselves in the playoffs like we've seen the past few years where it's like Philly gets there. They were up what? It was 3-1 on the Diamondbacks, and they lose what? 2 straight in Philly. I mean, the Phillies should, they got to get over that hump. Like, they have to, because what? It was losing the World Series 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Then you lose, 2 years ago to the Diamondbacks last year. It just, I keep saying every year that the Phillies have to do it. Like, it feels like every year you're like, the Phillies, they have the talent to go do it. They have to get over that hump. I don't know if this is the year, but they're a team that I agree, Ryan. If you are talking about teams past the Dodgers that you're like, yeah, If it wasn't for the Dodgers, I think the Phillies would be getting major. Hey, that's a front runner.
They were the top team in the NL and the top team in baseball for the majority of the year last year, right? They were that team. They were that good, and then they ran into a red hot rival in the Mets, and then the rest was kind of history there, right? So Phillies line up what they have. They have the veterans. This is their window right now. They have solid talent across the board. So, yeah, I'm not sleeping on Philly. Now, we want to go deeper into this, the deeper depths. And actually, as we go deeper depths here, we do have the quesadilla. Wow. Okay, Kyle, we're going to have to talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
So, we actually have the s'mores quesadilla. Explain this a little bit.
Yeah. So Nutella, marshmallows, graham cracker crumble, throw it over, a skillet, or if you got a saute pan where you can fit some. I use some mini tortillas, just for size, but everything kind of melted up. I mean, I think that's a great dessert. There's nothing wrong with Nutella, marshmallow, and graham cracker all mixed into a tortilla. So I feel like you're going to hit every note there, and kind of a good way to wrap up an opening day brunch, lunch, dinner component for sure.
I love having a private chef.
I love this.
I love private chef Kyle here.
I love it, boys. This has been great.
This has been incredible, phenomenal. And a lot of people are loving the food.
All right, we ready?
All right, we doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this.
So have a day, have a night, have a bite.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I got a good graham.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a perfect way to end this.
Is it s'more-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. You can kind of see where they were going.
It's so simple, but it's just so good.
Yeah. And the key is on that one, just don't burn the tortilla.
Yeah.
So you just have to watch your heat on that one. But, all of this is, I mean, as cool as it is to go out to the ballpark, these are things that people can make at home. There wasn't anything kind of, crazy. No etouffee, no crawfish. That'll be coming up when Ben's back in town.
Crawfish.
That'll be fun.
Etouffee.
Etouffee.
Hey, baby. Etouffee.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you even know who sang that song?
No.
Hurricane Chris. Hey, baby. Etouffee. Etouffee?
Etouffee.
Damn it.
I guess it depends on what part of Louisiana you're from. Maybe it is etouffee.
Yeah. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah.
Our Louisianans.
We're down there for Super Bowl. Counts.
Yeah, no. People from Louisiana, we know.
Ben's a Cajun, so.
Oh, that is a Cajun. Yeah.
Damn,
we should have.
Maybe I really am not from Louisiana. These are, I think, the graham cracker crunch.
Yeah, critique that one. Let Philly have it. Is that staying in the Philly world, or do you think that works? Right, especially as dessert.
The graham cracker. I love a good crunch that goes along with the sweetness.
Yeah,
and when you get a good graham cracker crunch in here, it's great. When you miss the graham cracker, it's still good.
Yeah.
With the graham cracker, I'd recommend to a friend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd recommend to a friend. I just don't like to have things that's overpowered by marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kevin's one of the guys that probably just eats marshmallows.
You are correct.
Out of the bag.
You do, right?
You are correct.
You are correct.
I eat chocolate chips out of the bag. Like,
I could have called that one. You could have asked me what food he eats out of the bag. I would have told you marshmallows without a doubt.
See, you guys, like Kyle cooked up this awesome thing, which I would 1,000%. I would 1,000% get into this. But if you said, Kyle, you could only cook 2 up for Ryan and Zach, and you just said, Kevin, have the rest of the ingredients, I'd just eat the ingredients.
If you missed this part, he goes, if you said you'll cook up the rest for Ryan and Zach, and just for 2 orders, and you said, I'll leave all the ingredients for you, Kevin, he said he would just eat the ingredients.
Just the ingredients.
Including the tortillas.
Including the tortilla.
Including the tortilla. But he couldn't eat the Nutella. With that part,
couldn't eat the Nutella.
Well, he could switch out the Nutella.
Oh, no, he can. He's got 3 to 4 hours.
Apparently he can just.
Or an EpiPen.
We just got to drop him off at the airport, and he's immune there.
Yeah. We'll do some Benadryl, and we'll be fine.
Give me a ranking. So I mean, we started out coming out hot out of the box with
Yeah.
Ben on the fries,
Mhm.
but that seems like a bit more of a novelty than maybe ordering.
Yeah, I think if we're going off of kind of best flavor,
Yeah.
the fries, like that was just like I didn't know what to expect from
Yeah.
that. We're going just best flavor. Oh, best flavor.
That's it. That's the one you got to have once, right? You gotta
Yeah,
have-
like that's just
The best flavor. Oh wow!
it's between
feel
the
like I'm
Ruben
a-
and the sliders. Both of those, the second.
I feel like I'm offending the brisket by not leaving it there, but I probably would put. Man,
I also feel bad because the brisket was so early on, and then like I had so much flavor afterwards that maybe it's just recency bias.
Yeah.
I would say I might have to go Texas Ruben.
Okay.
Because of the everlasting, but I did love the sliders. That'd be the two. Then I would put the brisket, and then quesadilla and fries.
Okay.
Actually, fries, quesadilla. For some reason, the
Ooh.
cotton candy still keeps coming back. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing.
Okay.
I see why they do it though.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Like I said, you got to try it once to say that you did it, and
We do have to get this out
hopefully
to
Jeff or Ben.
yeah, I was
will-
gonna say to Jeff and Ben tomorrow so
Yeah.
that they can let us know how it is in person.
Yeah.
And our guest who's waiting behind here, Daniel, he's getting hungry just hearing this conversation is
Yeah.
what he just texted me. But you know what? He's there for one of them. So we're going to have to get an actual idea on the Miami sliders.
Yep. That was a neat one. I was happy to see that the Marlins may not always bring the most on the baseball side, but they're definitely.
Yeah.
bring on the
Oh, well,
food
what
side.
do you-
they're
what do you-
packing a
whoa.
punch. They're packing a punch.
Whoa,
at the
whoa.
show.
I mean, I'm just telling you, man.
This is from a Marlins fan. You're talking to a
I
guy
know.
who grew up.
I
2
know
minutes
that
from the
we
stadium.
talked about with the U. We talked about
Oh,
everything.
my guys. Yeah.
So our Cam Ward's going first overall.
That's what they say. I that would be great. That would be really cool. It would be neat to see. Finally, we're back. We're back in the top of the draft.
We're back. And also for the record, for the Marlins, they are tied for the lowest odds to win the National League pennant with the Colorado Rockies at plus 20,000. On the other side for the American League to close out this conversation, the White Sox are also plus 20,000.
Okay, but
So you're telling me there's a chance?
the sliders.
The sliders are up there.
Sliders
So
probably have a better chance of winning the pennant than
if
the
you
Marlins.
if you were to ask fans what they would rather have, a World Series championship or the sliders this year,
Yeah.
sliders.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
it might
they'll take
be.
anybody getting to the ballpark. So I'm sure they'd be excited if people were coming down for the sliders and maybe a baseball game breaks out while you're there.
Hey, yeah, you know what? It might, especially the one tomorrow. That's the big one there.
That's the cool part, right? You guys were talking about it with opening day is that everyone starts at zero. So it's a neat time of year. It's always fun. Spring, Miami, especially in the spring, is hot, but we all feel like, okay, we got a chance here. We definitely have a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance. That's why people love opening day, because you're telling them there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Do you want to stay around or you want to head out right after? If you're ready to rock and roll, I can clean this up. Or if you're staying,
I'm cleaning up. I'll start cleaning up. If you guys need to shoot me any questions, or if anyone in the comments has a next item that they'd like to see coming up,
yes,
these
next
coming weeks,
items.
what people are excited about. Doesn't have to be a baseball themed, but we're always looking for some cool ideas. I think we got some things on the horizon that we're talking about doing. So this could be exciting.
We got a lot of things on the horizon, plus on the fact of you have different variations already of this, and you have a opening day brunch this weekend at the Iron Rooster, and you're going to have to add this or keep giving this to me at a different point.
Yeah, for sure.
Might have to yell at you while you're cleaning up while
That's-
Daniel's on.
No worries. And also too, we just started today. We're doing a crab 5 fry, which is
Oh,
in honor of our guys down in College Park, University of Maryland, the crab 5, and we decided to do crab dip over waffle fries, topped with cheddar cheese and pico de gallo and chipotle aioli. Started it today. They were already telling me that they were almost sold out. So go out and get those between starting today, tomorrow, through the weekend. We'll be running the crab 5 fries. And
crab 5 fries.
that's it.
That sounds delectable.
Yeah, they were awesome. We thought, what's a neat way to kind of honor the guys down in College Park getting ready for the game in Florida tomorrow. against Florida tomorrow. And we came up with some fries and people were digging them.
Boom, baby. That game is tomorrow, Thursday night. Iron Roosters, you can get it down in College Park, Hunt Valley, Canton, Annapolis, and right here on the Ryan Ripken Show. So, Kyle, I'll let you clean up. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks
and then we're going to, while you're cleaning up, since we just talked about Miami and the Sliders, our next guest is down there. He's ready for it. And it's a new friend of the program here. And he is the director of El Extra Base. I'm working on my accent here. But let's bring on Daniel Alvarez-Montes. Daniel, there he is.
My guy. How you doing?
How are we today?
Good. Excited to be here. Just 24 hours away, man, from seeing Sandy Alcantara taking the mound against Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know that maybe saying Marlins and Pirates as an exciting matchup, it's something odd, but when you have these two studs on the mound, it's just a game changer.
Oh, I mean, I think that is the matchup of opening day. And we were just talking about it earlier. You know, there might be some great matchups throughout the year, but there's no guarantee you're going to have the aces like this line up. And for Pittsburgh and the Marlins, this is it. This is what you hope for. One of the best pitchers, or not arguably, he is the best pitcher in Skeens right now, versus one of when he is fully healthy. And everyone thinks Sandy's back being healthy. And also then, Daniel, I got to ask, though, outside of baseball, have you had the Miami Sliders down there yet?
I've had them. There are a couple sliders here at Lone Depot. In fact, today we had, what those teams do the day before or like the week before opening day, that they bring all the food and all the new stands and concessions that they'll have. So I had some before coming up to a show. So yeah, I've had them before.
Yeah, good. You got to make sure you're getting your food in. You're a hardworking guy. You've been running around. So tell people a little bit before we get into some conversations, all about what you do, and for those that aren't aware of El Extra Base, of what you guys are providing, because what you guys are doing is amazing.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we started El Extra Base in 2018. And since then, we've dedicated to cover baseball, Major League Baseball, but minor leagues as well. Caribbean baseball, winter ball, of course, in Venezuela, República Dominicana, Puerto Rico, Mexico, etc. And obviously, we mainly follow MLB, especially the Latin players, the Venezuelan players the most, but everyone in general will also go to All-Star games, World Series, postseason series, and yeah, we're 24/7 only baseball every single day of the year, because baseball never stops. With the winter ball going, the Caribbean Series in February, then spring training right around the corner. So yeah, we never stop. Recently, obviously, we were going around Florida. We visited, I think, 14 out of 15 camps. The only one we didn't visit was the Pirates, but because we said, okay, we're going to have them on opening series in Miami. So to get the best out of our time, of course, there's a lot of driving in spring training. We said, okay, we're going to get them when they come down here. But yeah, we that's what we do. We're obviously on YouTube, website, X, Twitter, however you want to call it, Instagram, TikTok, you name it.
Yeah, you're everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And again, if you love baseball in general, that's where things thrive in the Latin countries in the off season for baseball. That's where things are just heating up. And we talked about it off air, Daniel. I mean, the game, and for what you guys cover, the Latin players are such a big part of the game. And the superstars of it. And if you want the insides of it, and I remember we talked about it, you had the exclusive talking with Miguel Cabrera when it was right after as well. So you guys are really giving an insight that we're trying to do here with players around Major League Baseball. You're doing the same thing in places people don't understand. Well, let's talk about this opening day then for a moment.
Sure.
Right? So there is a Baltimore connection with Connor Norby getting traded. He's out with the oblique, which is, I hate it. I wish that we could see him rocking and rolling. But let's talk about Sandy. You've been down there looking at him so far. He looks like 2022 Sandy, at least in spring training. Anything to believe differently for him coming back in this 2025 season?
Yeah, I don't think there's something that he has shown that makes me believe that he's not going to be great this year. 2 years ago, if you'd have asked me the same question after winning Cy Young, I would have said that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Then obviously WBC came up. He didn't have a good start that game against Venezuela, and from then on, everything just went downhill for Sandy, including the injury at the end of the year. However, he's stronger than ever, more mature than I've ever seen him, understanding what he has to do to be great and to be great consistent, and also knowing or trying to learn how to slow down at certain times, because that's the one thing with Sandy. He's such a great competitor, and it's so difficult for the managers, whether it was Don Mattingly or Skip Schumacher or now Clayton McCullough, to give him that short leash and be like, Sandy, we need you to go 5 or 6 and that's it, because Sandy always wants to go 7, 8, or 9 innings. But yeah, he's looking great. The first start of spring training for him in St. Lucie against the Mets, I was wondering, like, okay, what type of Sandy we're going to see today, because in live BP sessions he was throwing up to 94, 95. So it didn't look, it didn't look as good as he looked years before. And then his first pitch was like 99 miles an hour, and I was like, okay, he's back. Like, I don't have to worry about Sandy anymore. And he looked great, man. He's really confident. He also knows, and he's trying to avoid all the outside noise around him with trade rumors, which is something that it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. And he's trying to keep that, outside and not trying to bother him. But I think it's pretty clear that it's going to happen at some point.
That's the crazy part of this, right? He is the one name that everyone probably wanted last year, but the value, it's hard to maybe value him. And now if he goes out there and does his thing, no pitcher would have a higher value, but also a higher ceiling for a team that's trying to go win than adding a guy like Sandy. So it's fascinating to watch. And the 94, 95 mile per hour is talking about bullpen, Zach. Yeah, maybe he's just trying to just take it easy. But make no mistake, man. I mean, that's one guy I know. Zach in here, Daniel, would love to see Sandy elsewhere, maybe in purple and black in Baltimore.
Purple and black, orange and black. Wrong
orange
sport.
and black, purple.
Orange and black. Purple black. I don't think he's going to Colorado.
Yeah, that would be a.
Or wearing or wearing the Mets City Connect jersey, right, with purple and black. So you don't want to see it. But yeah, the one thing with Sandy as well is that he has probably the best team-friendly contract in baseball right now, because the guy is only making $17 million, and for a guy like him, he would be making 25, close to 30 million somewhere else, right? So he's going to make that this year, next year as well, and he has a $21 million option for 2027, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not only to win now, it's to win in the long term, because he's still going to be 31, 32 whenever he becomes a free agent.
Yeah, 32 years old in 2028 is when, if the club doesn't pick him up, that's a lot of control.
That's a lot of control. So, and that's where it's so tough for the Marlins, because obviously that's a guy that you would say, okay, I would like to build around him. But also the hold that they can get, whether it's in the trade deadline or in the offseason, it's going to be massive if he pitches like he's supposed to pitch, right? So that's why it's a matter of when it's going to happen, because he's definitely getting traded.
See, that's right there, hearing that. Like, definitely he's getting moved.
Makes sense.
It does make all the sense in the world. But unlike in other years, though, right? And we talked about with even Scooble last year being that big name, but Tigers were making a run. This year for Miami, it's make no secret. Is he healthy and he's going somewhere? So I'm really curious how this is going to play out. And they're starting off against the Pirates team that has a lot of expectations, that have felt like they've underperformed. Paul Skeens, if he stays healthy, he's going to be the favorite to win the Cy Young this year. I mean, that dude's that good. Daniel, any other storyline specifically? It doesn't have to be with this game and this opening series, but anything that you're excited to watch here as baseball kicks off, man, in less than 24 hours here in the States?
I mean, basically everything. But I'm really excited to see, for example, in the East, the NL East. I think the Phillies have a better team, and I want to see what they do with that rotation. I know Ranger Suarez went down, but they have Jesus Luzardo now, who is in a similar position to where Sandy was. Or to where Sandy is. He was in that position last year where he was definitely getting moved, and then he got a back injury that got him out of the season basically in the first half, I think it was. So yeah, but the Phillies for me, man, I think if there's one team that can really fight head to head with the Dodgers in a playoff series with that bullpen and with that rotation, it's definitely the Phillies, and I really want to see how far they can go. Also, obviously, I think many people will be watching Juan Soto in Houston making his Mets debut, right? I think whenever he comes up to the plate, we're going to see that at bat, whatever the outcome is, in every social media post from MLB and different platforms. So, yeah, many things to watch tomorrow, but yeah, definitely excited to be here because this match is going to be really good.
It really is. It really is. And also, it's kind of a little chillier up here right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel exactly like baseball weather, so I'm glad we can take your word for it down there, Daniel. And I can't.
It's pretty hot in here.
I mean, hey, it looks like it's buzzing in there. They got some tunes rocking and rolling in there. You're inside the stadium right now?
Yeah, I'm inside the stadium. The Pirates are taking the field now for their workout for tomorrow. But yeah, it's pretty quiet and chilly. But I know tomorrow it's going to be really excited here.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's getting, some people say it's getting hot in here. Who's the artist, Zach?
We'll see.
You don't know who the artist is? It's Nelly. Nelly. The answer is Nelly. So, man. Daniel, it hurts.
Kevin, why is Kevin not in here to take the
Yeah, well, because he's not. It's got to be you. And being a Baltimore guy, you should know better. Come on,
You're
man.
a food company. You can't ask me questions.
Well, you know what's good? Well, yeah, we have had a lot of food here. And Daniel, you're going to have to give us a rundown then next time I talk to you about what else is on the menu. I might have to take a trip down to Miami just to make sure.
You have to, and you have to be introduced to the Latin food here.
Yes.
We the Venezuelans, we pride ourselves as having a good, good cuisine. So, man, you got to try the arepas, tequeños, and many of the Venezuelan things that we have down here in Miami.
I'm telling Kyle right now, so the Iron Rooster restaurants are up here in Maryland. Daniel's saying about Kyle's from the Miami region too, Daniel. So he's shaking his head and saying, I got to make that a road trip, take the show on the road.
You have to.
Next time when you come on too, we need ideas for Latin food. You can join the show. Kyle will cook it up right here.
Kyle being from Miami, like Cuban sandwich, man. Like that's not a hard one to do, and that could be.
Well, is there a specific Cuban sandwich though we can make? Is there like a little Miami
the
twist?
Medianoche? Is that what he's?
The Medianoche is really good.
He literally just said that. Kyle just shook his head. As soon as you said, "Is it Medianoche?"
Medianoche, yeah, Medianoche is really good.
You said that.
It's like a late night sandwich you eat, like after the bar.
Yeah, well,
soaks everything up.
That's
our next done.
Medianoche. All right, Daniel. So we're cooking that next time. We are cooking that next time, man, dude. I am excited for what we have in store here for this season, and I can't wait to follow the things you got. Before I let you go and cover the Pirates and what's happening, we plugged before, but where can people find you specifically?
Yeah,
for all the content.
Yeah, so follow here El Extrabase at El Extrabase on, as I said, X or Twitter. I don't like calling it X.
Twitter. It's that platform.
Twitter, Instagram. On YouTube as well, El Extrabase. We're going to have our podcast there 3 times a week. And also our interviews with the players that we cover, not only with the Marlins, but also with the visiting teams and different events. We're always at the All-Star Game, World Series, some postseason series, as I mentioned at the beginning. And obviously visiting elextrabase.com. That's where we write, and a big part of our content is there also. So, yeah, that's where you guys can follow us.
Boom, baby. I love it. Hey, Daniel, appreciate it. Can't wait for the interviews and can't wait to have you back on here where we're going to make, Daniel, if you're cool with it, making you a recurring guy. Because we need to know what's happening. I love it. Hey, Daniel, appreciate you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Noche coming in the future. And
That's really good.
you got a great matchup coming tomorrow. So enjoy yourself, enjoy opening day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, man. Looking forward to it.
Daniel, everybody from El Extra Base. I'm telling you, man, his stuff and what they got covering down there, phenomenal. And I can't wait until the season gets going. You know, just because he covers it around when teams come in to play the Marlins, but they are covering things no matter what. And when I say about a guy that has a pulse on the game and talking about Sandy, he's the guy you want to talk to down there because his words, it wasn't a matter of if, Zach, it was when Sandy's going to get traded.
And I couldn't agree more. It is that situation. I think, you know, like you talked about for Sandy, it's how do you deal with that? You know, it's blocking out that outside noise because it isn't a situation where, you know, you're sitting there going, okay, well, maybe if we pitch, you know, if I pitch well enough, if the team's winning games, you know, we can go for it. For him, it's unfortunately, I need to pitch well because I'll probably be elsewhere. Maybe even come July, you know, so he's gonna be the hottest name on the market, especially when you can factor in his control.
Oh, the control is unbelievable.
That's where it goes from, hey, we can get a good haul for a guy to you got to bring your best package for us to even consider it.
Oh, no doubt about that. I love baseball season. If you're new to the channel here, welcome to the Ryan Ripken Show. Hit that like and subscribe button. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, roughly around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll be back tomorrow too, by the way. And even though, yes, the Orioles and many other teams are slated to start, we got a full show to run. So we'll be live during the show or during the game for a little bit of time. We have a big Maryland guest slated to join us tomorrow with the Terps and the Gators. We're going to be putting out clips from the Van Gundy interview this morning for our channel members, Rips Good Kids and Holy Shirts and Pants. That interview is out right now. So go check that out as Stan gives you insight to Maryland, Derek Queen, where to go eat, and who to contact, who you want to go eat when you go around the country. And then some other tidbits on what it is, the stresses of trying to be able to keep out outside noise. A lot of outside noise, Zach, especially with Kevin Willard. So, and with Kevin Ostreicher, there's always outside noise.
Ton of outside noise.
And a muted mic for Kevin Ostreicher.
Yeah, is what it is. Yeah, it's a lot of noise.
It's a lot of noise. And Kevin, too, tomorrow then starts the Kevin and Zach Reacts.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Still got to figure some things out in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, we got it figured out. We'll get things in place for everyone for memberships and stuff.
So people that don't know, and I'll be the point person on this. Kevin and Zach Reacts, part of the Ryan Ripken Media. I don't like to use the word empire. Laura does, though. Appreciate
it's
you, Laura.
empire.
But we're going to have memberships for the Kevin and Zach Reacts. And the reason why, one, it's supporting the guys, supporting the channel. But really, it's essentially consider that membership as your ability for call-ins and some other insights. Not that we don't want to have to worry about call-ins, but the people that we know, hey, love the show and are committed, we want to give those people that want to voice their opinion the chance to let it all out with two of the best, with Kevin and Zach. One for the people. And Lord knows I can't handle all that Kevin does late at night with the fish.
It's going to be a lot of fun this year. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of reactions, good and bad.
I'm telling you, once we hit 2,400 subs, I know I'm doing. I don't know if
we're doing 24 hours. We'll do 24 hours
stream once we hit 2,400 subs on there. So we're about
800
away and under 800 away now.
Yeah, under 800. So
cannot wait, guys. It's going to be a great season. And I think for today, closes out the show. It was a long one. We got more information coming your way. And should I tease who we're having tomorrow for basketball?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. So if you stayed this long for the show, and we have a lot of people still on, which is phenomenal here. And again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you are a Maryland Terps fan, there have been some legends throughout the year. And you can go back to the early 2000s, obviously. Had the Steve Blakes, the Juan Dixon, Lonnie Baxter when we had him on. But how about a guy that you just wish had a different fate when he played at Maryland, but was so theatrical, emotional. And what I mean by that is he loved being a Maryland Terp. You could see it. He played with that passion constantly, came up big over and over and over again. And you know who is extremely happy for what's happening for the Terps? That's Gravis Vasquez is going to join us right before first pitch at 3 p.m. to talk about
the Florida Gators.
Happen. Great day to be a Terp, man. It's going to be a very, very exciting day, and I cannot wait to get to talk to Gravis about some of those moments. And unfortunately, talking about buzzer beaters, he was on the wrong side of that. But you know what? The voodoo's gone. Maryland shook it off with that buzzer beater by Derek Queen. But guys, that does it for today's show. I think it's time to cue the music. As always here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. And we appreciate Kyle and the Iron Rooster for starting off our Cooking with Kyle segment. Whether he likes that or not, that's what we might coin it. But have a day, have a night. We'll be back tomorrow for a brand new edition. And it'll officially be opening day in Major League Baseball.